Nkosazana Clarice Dlamini-Zuma, former chairperson, African Union Commission. Doc, you're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you very much for having me.
How are you, Mommy?
I'm fine, thanks.
Have I pronounced the name well?
Yes, you did.
You know, we like South African accents here. It's very nice. I don't know if you like our accent. I don't know if our accent comes the way it comes to you as well. You have done the continental tour, so you've seen and heard various people speak. When we hear South Africans speak, we like it. How do you pronounce the name?
Well, for some reason, for me, when I'm in any African country, I'm at home.
Okay.
So I never compare because I just take it, I'm at home.
So it is, your name is not the one that the Xhosa that has the clicks. This is regular as I pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it, correct?
Nkosazana.
Nkosazana. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds to me like the national anthem of South Africa.
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly.
Yeah. How are you doing? How is you're no more in active politics, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I decided to retire from government and parliament, but for now I'm still in the African National Congress. So that's why I say yes and no.
Partly.
Yeah.
So when you say African National Congress, for my audience in Ghana, that is the biggest political party in South Africa.
Yeah.
The
biggest, the oldest, the ANC.
Biggest, oldest independent party.
Yes.
I want to even equate it to the Communist Party of China, where the party remains the same, the leader keeps changing. Is that a fair attribution?
Yes, the party remains the same. It's the ANC, but yes, leaders change, come and go.
You have been member of parliament before?
Yes, I've been a member of parliament since '94.
Wow.
And then I went to Ethiopia for 4.5 years. Then I went back to parliament.
Wow, wow, 94. That's when you got your independence as a country.
Yes.
And you have served in every government of South Africa from 94.
Yes. In the first government, President Mandela appointed me as Minister of Health.
You worked with Mandela?
Yes, for 5 years as Minister of
Health. The one we all revere, you worked, how was working close to Mandela? I only read Long Walk to Freedom.
It was very good working with him. He was disciplined. You had to keep time.
Okay.
If he says the meeting starts at 9, he closes the door at 9.
Wow.
If you are not there, he'll start the meeting and he'll open later and then apologize for starting before you came.
Wow. Instead of you should be apologizing to him for coming late.
But if that happens, you'll never be late again.
That's true.
So he was a stickler for time, but just for discipline general. You
were his minister for what?
Health.
Health.
Yes.
Because you are a health practitioner, you're a medical doctor.
Yes, I'm a medical doctor.
And under Thabo Mbeki, who took over from Nelson,
I was Minister of Foreign Affairs for 10 years.
He sent you abroad?
Yes.
So you were traveling. I'm sure that was when you did a lot of, because you are celebrated mostly for your role as a foreign affairs minister. Many say that you were the most active, most powerful. You are also the longest serving foreign affairs minister in South Africa. Well,
so far, during Apartheid, there was one who served longer than me. But since '94, up to now, at least I've done a full 10 years.
So after Thabo Mbeki, then you served again in Jacob Zuma's government?
Yes, I went to Home Affairs.
How was that?
Home Affairs.
So Home Affairs is what we call Interior Ministry?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And there I didn't finish 5 years because that's when I went to Addis, because the SADC region decided that they wanted to compete for that position.
Commission chair.
And they decided I must represent SADC.
Did you have to then resign as member of parliament to go and do that?
Yes, I had to resign.
Okay.
Yes.
So SADC being the Southern African Development, our version of ECOWAS.
Yes, it's our version of ECOWAS.
And so you went to Addis Ababa, the capital of AU.
Yes.
To go and operate there.
Yes.
For 7 years, is it?
No, for 4.5 years.
Okay.
Normally it's 4 years, but they asked me to stay an additional 6 months. Yeah.
Then after that, you served again under Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yes.
His first term.
Yes.
As a what?
I started as Minister of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, and then as Minister of Local Government and Traditional Affairs. And then when I retired, I was Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability.
What about you made all the presidents of South Africa want to work with you and give you a job?
I don't know. But I was a hard worker, and I did transformation in the departments where I worked. Maybe that's the reason, I don't know.
You belong to the ANC.
Yes.
It was a very powerful tool, vehicle for independence. Many hold the view that that vehicle is possibly running on 2 tires now, not even 3, and that you're slowly losing it as a party. As someone who is in the helm of affairs of the ANC, do you see that? Is that true, or is someone just trying to say something for their own benefit?
Well, it's partly true. I think that's why even as the ANC, we've realized that we have to renew ourselves. There has to be a renewal because we seem to have lost trust of the people, judging also from the last election, where for the first time we were way under 50%. So we are trying to renew the organization, try and bring it back to its former glory. It's not easy, but we are trying.
So this party's antecedent is the apartheid era. You lived apartheid. We
Yes.
have heard about it from here. We've watched movies, we've read books, but we don't feel it.
Yes, I was born during apartheid, and I left South Africa when I was a medical student. So, yes, I lived.
When you say you left, you ran away.
Yes, because they wanted to arrest me, so I escaped.
For the Gen Zs watching me, and for even people of my age mates, how bad was it? This type of government or this type of colonialism? Because we also had our own colonialism, but it appears yours was worse.
It was worse. One, there was separation. The white people and the Africans, you were separated in every respect. Where you live, you could never live in the same suburb as a white person. Where you went to school, you were not supposed to go to school, the same schools. Where you went to hospital for healthcare, you couldn't go to, there were white hospitals and hospitals for black people. So everything was like that. But they were not equal. The white schools, white hospitals, white everything was more abundant and better. The Africans, even in the bus, remember when I was living in Durban with my aunt, we had those double-decker buses. Africans had to be on the top deck. Even if the bottom deck was empty, you had to go up. If it was full, you had to stand. If there was no space to stand, you have to wait for the next bus. But even if the bottom deck was empty because it was for white people.
This was what, 60s or 70s?
I was born in 1949, so from that time.
Oh.
Oh yes, I'm old.
Wow. I think you're my dad's age mates. Ah.
So everything was just separate. And For Africans, it was very different.
I can't picture it because I went to Durban in 2018. I loved the beaches. I loved how
we
beautiful.
were not allowed to play in those.
Oh my God, the water was
on the
so
beach
clear.
you played on, we were not allowed.
Oh my God.
Even some shops, in some shops we were not allowed inside the shop. There was a little window, you had to peep through that window and point at what you want. But white people could go in. At the bank, there were two queues, the white queue and the black queue. And as black women, you were treated as a minor. So if I was working and I wanted to get an overdraft from the bank, a man had to sign for you.
Even if you're an old woman?
Even if you're an old woman, maybe your son can sign for you, or your
You are not fit to do it yourself?
No, you are not fit to do yourself. Even if you wanted to buy something on hire purchase where you
need a man guarantee.
You need a man to guarantee. Even if the man was unemployed.
Wow.
So that's how African women were treated in the worst possible way.
It's painful.
We were discriminated according to our color, as workers and as women. We suffered triple oppression as African women.
In 1994, when Nelson Mandela walked out and became president, he asked for forgiveness. He at least said he has forgiven.
Yes.
Do you think it is possible to forgive this thing across the board?
I think for me, forgiveness has to also go with redress. You can't hold the thing in your heart forever, but there must be redress, which has not totally happened in South Africa. The economy is still in the hands mainly of white people.
The minority white?
Yes. The financial sector is still in their hands. The land is still in their hands. So until there's complete redress, I would say then we can say...
To see the complete redress would be to see what happened in Zimbabwe, for instance. And we have seen the backlash of that. So do you take back the land from the quote-unquote white Boer in South Africa? If you do that, then the view is that you are doing the same thing that has been done to you, and that do not do that. How do you get redress and
Well, let's look at Zimbabwe first. What was said about Zimbabwe is not quite true. The Zimbabwean government said there must be a particular size of farm that you must have. Because there were people who had farms which were maybe as big as Belgium, one person. So they didn't take away everything. In a way, they said, let's share, which is fair. Even in a home, you share.
Mm-hmm.
So they said nobody should own a farm bigger than this size, and nobody should own more farms, a multiple of farms. So I didn't see anything wrong with that personally.
You think that would have worked in South Africa? That would have been better?
Yeah, it can. Because we are not saying we are taking everything away from everyone. We are saying, let's share. Let's equalize.
Do you think the forgiveness was too sudden and too imposing on the people of South Africa that, listen, let sleeping dogs lie, we have independence, let's move forward?
Well, I think the forgiveness was probably to say, let's put down arms. Because if you remember, there was armed struggle.
Because you trying to mention the spear off.
Yes. So I think that part was to say, let's put down arms. Let's now resolve things amicably. It wasn't saying let the status quo remains. No.
If I went to Soweto, streets of Johannesburg today, would I see any economic independence, or that independence economically is still far from reached?
Yeah, in Soweto, you will find people doing business.
Black people.
Black people. But I think what we have done, wrongly or rightly, is to introduce malls.
Okay.
And in the malls, it tends to be white shops.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, if you go outside the malls, there will be businesses, maybe small, but yes.
What about if I went to Cape Town? I have never been to Cape Town. I went to Durban. People say, if you go to Cape Town, it's a very white town. And that the black people, you know you are independent. You know this is your country. You know you can go there, but you can't fit there. So is it difficult to celebrate this independence as a black person in South Africa?
Cape Town is probably like a tale of two cities. There is the city, which is predominantly white. And then there are townships and places where people who are not white live there, and it's very different.
In terms of development?
In terms of development. Sky News recently did a short video showing the white part of Cape Town and the black part of Cape Town, and called it, this is Europe and this is South Africa.
Wow.
It's one of the most unequal cities in South Africa.
The difference is stark.
Very stark.
It's been 30 years since you gained independence. You have black majority rule, ANC is in charge. How come you have political power and yet your country still, I mean the black people in your country especially say there's no economic power, no economic independence? The ANC has been a failure then?
Well, I wouldn't say we've been a failure, but I think we should transform the financial sector, because the financial sector is the one, if you have a good idea and you want finance, you have to go to the bank to get finance. And the banks are not financing black people, women and youth to the same extent as they finance the white people.
Even under independence, there's discrimination.
Yes, because remember I talked about redress.
Yes.
They will say, what is your collateral?
Which you don't have.
Which you don't have.
From your great-grandfather, there's nothing.
Because they don't consider, even if you have cows, they don't consider them as a collateral.
Yeah, that's true.
They say you must have immovable property. But also the immovable property should be in a place where you have a title deed.
Which you may not have.
For instance, I grew up in the rural areas.
Which area?
I still in KZN.
Okay.
I still have a home there. But that home, the bank does not consider as a collateral because it's a family home. It's not an individual's home.
This KwaZulu-Natal?
Yeah. When my sister says I'm going home, that's where she's going. When I say I'm going home, that's where I'm going.
Is this the type of village setting homes where they build around with the huts, that kind of settings. The bank will not regard that as
no. Even if you built it a double-story brick house, because it's there,
they don't care.
Yeah, but on the other side, on the other side, if I owe the bank, they can't attach that.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting.
So it works both ways in a way.
So you benefit and you suffer. Last question before I take a break. Our president, John Dramani-Mahama, here in Ghana, is fighting for reparations. I'm sure you have seen and heard about that. Do you think we deserve reparation as a continent? There are people who say, listen, let's move on. Slavery was many centuries ago. Independence, we got it decades ago. Let's fix ourselves and move forward. Others say, no, we must have reparation done to us or given to us. What's your position on this?
Well, if you remember, the AU's theme for this year is precisely that, reparations. But also when we hosted the racism conference in 2001 in Durban, I was foreign minister then, the UN had a resolution that slavery was a crime against humanity and also called for reparations. So it's not only us, even the UN has said we deserve reparations.
So we must fight for it.
Of course, it's not going to be easy to get reparations, but as a matter of principle, we deserve the reparations.
This is Face to Face on ChannelOne television. My guest is former chairperson of the African Union Commission, the person behind the term, the Africa we want. When we come back, I'll ask her to tell us what she means by the Africa we want, the agenda of AU at 60 or 50, and how are we achieving that, if we are even achieving that at all. And I'm also interested in another agenda of the AU, silencing the guns. The guns are very loud in Sudan, in Burkina Faso, in Nigeria, in Mali. They are very loud. Can we truly silence them? What is preventing us from seeing them silenced? And then, as someone from the Fulani ethnic group known as nomads,